going to be C6H11. So my empirical formula stays up to 9%. Now in this case, we're adding in one more acid. The molar mass of our compound is 2.0 grams per mole. Now our empirical formula uses the lowest ratio of carbon to hydrogen in our compound. So the empirical formula might be the same as the molecular formula that's possible, or it might be the molecular formula might be a multiple of the empirical formula. So we figure out as the molecular formula to calculate what the mass of your empirical formula is going to compare that to your molar mass. So if we go ahead and calculate the molar mass of your formula, the mass of this is going to be 150.17 grams per mole. So that's my empirical formula added up to the C6H12O2. I have this mass here. If this is my mass, my empirical formula, and this is my mass, my molecular formula, what we need for me to see is a 2-to-1 ratio. Basically, my molar mass, my molecular formula, should be twice as big as my empirical formula. So my molecular formula should be C12H22O4, and I'm just doubling my empirical formula. My molar mass, like I said, this will be the same, 230.30, and the ratio, it's really important, right? The ratio of carbon to hydrogen stays the same throughout the entire process. So this is my final answer, molecular formula C12H22O4. Hopefully that process makes sense. First, we're finding the empirical formula. Once you have the empirical formula, finding the mass of the empirical formula, then comparing that mass to the empirical formula to the mass of the molecular formula, the molar mass, and figuring out what the ratio I need. In this case, 2-to-1 ratio, that's doubling my empirical formula to get my final molecular formula. All right. But not going to go. The first question says, we're reacting to KSP3, KCl. So as soon as we get the distribution of the right away, then KCl solid is okay, KSP is plus electronic, so plus KCl minus. And then here, for the equilibrium reaction, so KF, so we can find the between KF and KF formation. So here we've got the formation of our HCl3 complex ions. These are all liquids. I want to point that out. These are all liquids. This is HCl solid. So in question number 3, as these react together, the reason someone uses to do that is all these silver chloride in an NH3 solution. Well, we have two equilibria going on at the time because Ag plus ions being formed, but then they're going to be consumed and taken out of solution to form the complex ion. Right? So this equilibrium is pulling these Ag ions out of solution, shifted to one, right? As this shifts one, right? To form more Ag plus, to shift this, right? So it's hard for us to solve, right? We've got two things going on at the time. So what we can do, we just add these two equilibriums together. So if I add these two together, everything's looking like everything's right. I just rewrite that down here. Ag plus and I'll show them on both sides. So overall, I'm left with this equilibrium reaction. Ag solid, HCl solid, HCl3, HCl minus plus HCl minus. This should be a balanced equilibrium. And then solve the KC. I'm just going to multiply the value of the KC, multiply the value of the KF. That's going to be the KC value for this reaction. So last step here, I'm going to solve my table. So here I've got my equilibrium reaction here. NH3 minus ready from here. So I want to draw a picture of what's going on here. Okay, I've got NH3 solution. And I've got some HCl. Well, HCl is dissolved, right? So it's dissolved. And form. There's HCl3 complex ions here after the solution. It's going to react with NH3. Large formation on the complex ions. Like the right? This is the here. Find 2x to get over our coefficients. 1x, 1 is fine. With the function expression. You guys all got exactly. A trick that we use for future that's how to solve that exactly is this slide over here. So we call it perfect square. You guys might remember this trick in 1.2. But if this is a perfect square, where's the whole thing? It's going to cause the x. Let's get rid of this term here. And get rid of this right here. And I'll have square root 3.06 times 1/3. And that will help me solve that. If you assume that this minus square is identical, you get a value very close to 0.055. And I would say that would be by the way. For the method is fine. Alright? Thanks. Alright, so this is a topic that's called determining the molar mass after by integration. And this is a tricky topic, definitely a little bit challenging because it's a little bit outside the box with different types of problems. I'm going to do 2 examples of this problem in this video. The first one, how does we weigh out 0.086 grams of unknown monophoric acid. When I see that unknown monophoric acid, I'm going to write HX. That's going to indicate that it's not acid. And we don't know what it is, so this is counter anion. We don't know what it is, but we know it's monophoric from 1 hydrogen plus this. Into a current over the plus, and then it's plus to 1. So what that might look like, so this is my picture of a one plus. So this is the 250 milliliter mark. We put our acid here, HX, 0.086 grams of HX, and we're going to 2 parts per milliliter. And then we titrate that solution with this concentration of the drug that's concentration rate equivalent points. That's where the moles of acid will equal the moles of base. So I cancel out and neutralize the acid. You might see that 23.4 milliliters of solution. So right away, with this information, I know that I can find moles of NaOH. That is just jumping out at me, that I can pull that out. Then I know moles of drug itself, the moles of acid, is like an equivalent point. And then what I ask for is the molar mass of the acid, molar mass of grams of the acid divided by the moles. So I've been given the moles of there, I've given the grams to it. So really I like to figure out what that number of moles is. I'm going to figure out the moles of the drug acid. So I'm going to do translation. The first thing I would do is I would say, given this information, can I figure out the moles of the drug acid? Number 1, and you will write moles NaOH. That's going to look like this, 0.0234 liters. Make sure we spread that over to liters. Then I can multiply that by the concentration, 0.0700 molar. I know that molar is moles per liter, so we'll set it from 2 moles per liter. Then I use a liter can cancel out. And this calculation will give us that number of moles to the first time we got it, which is 0.001638 moles of NaOH. So when I write moles of NaOH, really, that's going to be moles of OH minus as well, so we write it that way. And the reaction that we're doing is HX plus OH minus, so it's H2O.
true food.
I've set my hot plate to 250 on the temperature setting here just to get started. That's something you're going to have to monitor and adjust as you go. So you can see that changing temperature to 150 degrees. And you can see that I'm using that pipette as sort of a stir rod to mix up my tea. You may have to add a little more water if your water is evaporated. Now what I'm doing is I'm simply pipetting out the tea solution into my centrifuge tubes. And you want your tea to be distributed evenly between your two different tubes. Additionally, you want to rinse out your 50 milliliter beaker so that you can extract as much caffeine as possible from your tea bag. At this point, we're ready for our sodium carbonate. So sodium carbonate is going to be used first, and we're dumping roughly a half of a gram of sodium carbonate into one of these centrifuge tubes. Once you dump that in there, go ahead and tap your centrifuge tube and give it a little shake up. You can see that venting centrifuge tube from time to time. That's really important to make sure pressure doesn't build up inside the tube. To get the dichloromethane, we're going to use this dispensing pump. On the dispensing pump, there's a little cap here, so make sure you remove that before you dispense your solution. And to use this, all you're going to do is pull up on the gel part and you can just let go. You don't need to force it down. Just be gentle when you're using it. Now we've added dichloromethane. So next step is to just shake up this centrifuge tube. And here you can see that periodically after detection, just open it out a little bit to make sure the pressure does not build up. Now the two valves are shaken up. You're trying to separate out the again. And we're going to use the centrifuge and we'll do this. We'll put example into centrifuge. Just make sure that they're equally weighted and opposing one another. That way the centrifuge is balanced. You need something on for a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes should be sufficient to separate up layers again and break that emulsion. So you can see that the centrifuge has done its job and our two layers are clearly separated. Now these two layers are separated. I'm just going to use one of these long tipped texture pipettes to remove the bottom organic layer from my centrifuge tube. And then go back to the process to collect that bottom organic layer one more time, just like we did previously. Now that I've collected all my organic portions, I'm ready to dry this organic layer over sodium sulfate. Now in terms of how much sodium sulfate to use, really you're just going to sort of dump in a scoop full and then judge if you add more or if you add enough. The best way to judge if you add enough is to look at the bottom of your overnight flask and try to see if you have individual granules of sodium sulfate floating around. If I'm moving individually, that means you've added enough sodium sulfate and you are good to go. You just let that shit for 10 minutes and absorb all the water molecules. So if everything is clumped together, then that means you add a little bit more sodium sulfate. Now that my organic layer is dried for 10 minutes, I'm ready to decant the organic layer into a round bottom flask. So you can't basically pour, and I'm trying to leave all that sodium sulfate solid behind in the overnight flask. So take it carefully, and now I'm ready to use the photograph to evaporate all the salt. This machine right here is the photograph, and we're going to use that to evaporate all that dichloromethane, leaving this round bottom flask here that has just crude caffeine coating the side of it. The last thing we're going to do today is we're going to redissolve our caffeine, our crude caffeine, in a minimum amount of dichloromethane, and I'm just going to swirl this dichloromethane in my round bottom flask and then transfer it to our thin wall vial. I will want to do this rinse a number of times, so I'm just going to use all of my 3 milliliters that I collected and rinse out my round bottom flask and transfer that to the thin wall vial. Now this thin wall vial, this is what we're going to leave in our drawers over the weekend. All the dichloromethane will evaporate, and we'll be left with our crude caffeine in the bottom of our flask. Now, in 251, the waste is dealt with a little bit differently than we dealt with waste before. We're going to have 3 main waste collection jugs. We've got aqueous on the left, a halogenated organic in the middle, and a non-halogenated organic on the right-hand side. So depending on what type of waste you generated, you'll need to place it into the correct waste collection jug. And as we go along, I'll try to give you some hints and tips about where to put your waste. Something to keep in mind is to not overfill the waste jugs, so don't think it's level. I'm going to let a TA or instructor know. The last thing I want to mention about these is just that this red part here is a lid to open it up before you dump your waste in there. Now, here's all the waste materials and things that we need to clean up for our lab today. In the bottom of these centrifuge tubes, we've got a little bit of dichloromethane. That dichloromethane should really go into the halogenated organic waste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe that off that little bit of halogenated waste and put it in a cube here. Now, the solutions remaining in our these tubes is actually on aqueous waste because of water waste, because of camping, or the halogen organic waste. The solids from the salt that's left over, that's going to go to a solid waste collection jug, and you'll know that it's a proper waste collection jug. You'll see the shine. And after that, these will go to the glass waste, and it should actually go to garbage can. Alright, so this is now part of the culture waste management, and this is definitely a crucial topic as before, so definitely want to make sure we go over this in detail. Now, there are a lot of shortcut methods to a problem like this that are really, really tricky to avoid. That means malaria, and you have that is also this is a malaria problem. And then you've got 140 milligrams. So I want to just draw a little picture to illustrate what's going on in this problem. In this day, I'm going to start with 140 milliliters of 0.00176 molar of changes molar malaria. We're going to interchange those for half mil of molar stock solution. And then I'm going to add water. So I'm going to put in H2O and dilute. This is what that is. We're going to start with this one. Next, I'm going to take 0.140 liters. I'm going to multiply that by the volume of my malaria in my solution. So it's 0.00176 moles in every 1 liter. So that is like 19. Quick, for this video is too long. Flip this off. And we'll try with a different one. This one has a 1.35 amp volt current. And it's the same. I just ordered some lights on this one. It's the same style package. Just going to get that to fire up. So we're at 1.6. It's raised for 1.35. Now we wait. And we wait till see the thing, huh? It's not. These yellow ones I have are found them in a box somewhere. They're pretty old, so I don't know if there's an heating issue. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, these yellow ones flow pretty slow. You see if I pull it down by holding it with my finger or putting an ice cube on it. Okay. So untrip. And it's just a little bit hot in there. So I should bring my finger a little bit. So that is my polyjuice experiments for today. Internet. So with my last Gila string order, I picked up one of these vacuum S&P take touch pins, and it really didn't work at all. They don't cost $3, but it was a waste of money. So I thought, how can I prove this? The main problem with this pin is that the suction hole inside is way too small. So what I did was I got some Aquarian hairline tubing, and I hooked it up, hooked the pin up to this yoga ball inflator. So by stepping on this with my foot, I have a foot switch that holds a vacuum for taking out these tiny parts. Let's zoom in now. So we get the camera zoomed in now on some really small parts, and show how it works. So the stock tip is actually pretty big by surface mount standards. It's good for larger packages like this, or we have these MOSFETs, surface mount MOSFETs, it takes up like that. It'll go down. The smallest that really works well is about the size of 1206. It's about the size of smaller than a grain of rice. For the very small stuff, you're going to need to find a finer tip needle. This needle is a blended dental applicator needle I had for a different project, and it works really well. It's actually quite difficult to cut off a tiny piece of PVC square, so it's best if you can find a needle that's already blended. With this needle, you can pick up really, really tiny stuff. Like you can pick up these 402 by 1 end. You can pick up do that I did is run a magnet wire down the airline and connect it to your grounding system. And now with your gravity, you actually are ESD safe instead of just claiming to be ESD safe with no discernible ESD protection measures. And so this modification only costs maybe less than $10 total, and you'll end up with a actually very nice and very usable SMD structure pickup tool. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Just doing some soldering, and I pressed down a little bit harder than usual. I flushed it, and flux went all over the board, but more painfully, it also went in my eye. So I've never seen a flux pen squirt flux out into my eye before, or even heard of such a thing happening to anyone. So my theory right now is that since I live in Colorado and I'm about 5,000 feet or so above sea level, that this pen was manufactured at sea level, and now there's pressure trapped inside of it, and that's what caused it to squirt out into my eye. My eye. So we're just going to put on some safety goggles here and poke a little hole in this guy and see what's going on. So we'll poke a hole in this side there. Alright, so you can see there's a hole in there now. Now if we try to dispense the flux again. Yep. Now it's coming out how it normally should, instead of squirting out in a huge blast. So, if you solder safety hazard that I've certainly never heard of before, if you live at altitude and you're going to want to use a solder flux pen, then poke a hole in the bottom and leave any pressure into that first. Or else it might hurt you in the eye, and trust me, solder flux does not feel good in your eye. That's it for today. Stay safe out there. short of, because sometimes I don't like it, don't like it, you get these loud or something, so, no, no, this is like,
All of the power supplies given amp, I believe. It has 5 volt, plus or minus 12 volt fixed, plus or minus 20 volts adjustable.
50 volt CC if you want that. This up here, these are all buffered, so these up here are all buffered LEDs, and these are regular switches, and then these are logic switches. So, which are buffered. It has two breadboards, and a static foam for chip storage. And over here was the slot to hold the multimeter, but I modified it a little bit to mount some microcontrollers on a piece of plexiglass. And then underneath there's more storage. So the microcontrollers I have on here right now have a Mega P5. And the I/O devices, I have this really GLA Stream CM1638 based input device with 8 buttons, 8 keyboard LEDs, and 8 7-second displays. And over here you have your regular SparkFun serial enabled LCD. And so this kit, it has pretty much everything I could want in a regular kit, with the possible exception of a PWM output with a function generator. But it is quite large and also quite expensive, close to $400 pound. So I want to know, what are your requirements? What have you found works and what doesn't work when it comes to breadboards? The size that I'm targeting is the size of a calculus book, which is 9 inches by 10 inches by 2.5 inches. Really don't have to be bigger than this, because this is the biggest thing that most students will carry around in their backpack. As for the power supply, I definitely go need at least one plus or minus. Probably the 5 or 7 if you count AC here is overkill. But definitely for op amps, it's nice to have a positive negative power supply. And definitely think we need pots. Function generator, I'm not sure about. Built-in switches and LEDs are always useful. And as far as getting the size down, the biggest component on here is a rather large transformer, because this is not a switch mode power supply. You can see that big transformer under there, that's why this bottom part is so thick. The TGV one takes up like half an inch, and then the rest is the transformer. So there's a lot of wasted space under here. So, just post in the comments what you think the requirements for your ultimate breadboard would be, and if you have any ideas, let me know. And I just thought I'd show a simple way that I came up with opting to control a relay via a thermistor. So this is a thermistor, this is a Darlington transistor, and this is a relay. This is a 10K 10-turn precision ring pot. So right now it's cold, and if you warm it up a little bit, there it goes. And so when you heat up this thermistor here, which is pretty steady now, it cools back down again, it'll turn on. When you heat up that thermistor, it pulls up harder on the voltage divider that it's dividing with this pot here. And once it gets up to the Darlington's minimum forward voltage, it only takes a little bit of current. The Darlington will amplify like 2,000 times, and that will turn on the relay here. So that's the pretty easy way to use the thermistor to control the relay. And I thought I'd just make a quick video of so my Rossi polishing film is basically just a plastic film with a small grid embedded in one side, and it's tiny. This comes down to ridiculously tiny micron grid sizes. This is 3 mic, and the other one's 1 mic. 3 mic I think is the pretty good all-around size. 1 mic is good for just go give you a nice mirror finish. But 3 mic is aggressive enough to get the job done in a reasonable amount of time, but still fine enough so that you won't overdo it. And so you get this polish film, cut it in half, the sheet, and then you take the sheet. You're going to get a flat surface. This flat surface is a sample piece of granite countertop. It's recycling because it's heavy, it stays in place. It's pretty darn flat, and there's room for knuckles when you're sharpening the blade. So take your flat stone or whatever you're using, either glass, and just spray a little liquid on there. I'm using diagram outside. You can use regular water also. You'll find pretty similar results. And you just use a little bit of water between the film and the stone, and that will stick it down, and water on top of the film to lubricate the blade as you're sharpening. So then you take your blade, and any little bit of sand or grit will mess up or make the edge of the blade. What I like to do is I use the spine ones first to kind of flatten everything down. And it looks like you're just a little bit more water on the edge here. There we go. Now, okay. And move your polishing film all the way to the edge, and then you simply start honing like you would on a normal stone. You want to let the film do the work. You don't want to push really hard. I sometimes put my fingers on here just so I can make sure that I'm putting even pressure on the whole blade and not sharpening the heel before the toe. And then run along a little bit. And switch to the other grade does feel appropriate. And the nice thing about this method is your sharpening stone always stays flat. These are cheap and disposable, essentially the last, I don't know, 3 sharpenings before you get rid of them. This one is done. You see all the metal particles embedded on it. And it's flowing, and so you don't have to constantly keep it in a pool of water, like you would for those fancy Belgian stones or fancy Japanese stones, and it's quite effective. So this is my method for sharpening tree users using polishing film. Hi Internet, this is just a demo of how I built a vertical separator for my shop vac out of a couple of mini break takes. circle separator, same principle as on the Dyson vacuum. The stop back is connected here, and it cuts air through here, spins it around, and the air has to make a sharp corner to come up and go back down to the stop back. And in that sharp corner, that the air can go around, but the solid materials have more inertia, and they don't make it around, so the solid materials fall along. So let's take a look inside and see what we got. You can see it's below the aluminum machines right now. And disconnect this.